Futurama. Man, I love Futurama so much. I really do. I am like a huge fan of this show. And when I heard this show was getting revived, I had mixed feelings on it, especially, knowing it's under a corporation known as Disney. I know Disney has made some good stuff in the past and all that, but number one, their recent films and stuff have not been the best. Honestly, I've seen some of them, they're not very good. And second, they've had a history of buying up properties and ruining them. So when I knew they were reviving Futurama under Disney and all that, I was kind of, mixed on that. But I figured, I would go ahead and go through each episode and talk about it, Yes, I'm going to be talking about it. So I'm not going to be talking about the original show because, let's face it, that's a classic. I mean, there's a few bad episodes here and there, but it's nothing really that bad. I mean, yeah, they've had some few. I mean, some people may think there's not really any bad episodes at all. Maybe some people will just like it, But for me, I found some bad episodes I might talk about down the road. But I'm not here to talk about that in this video. I am here to talk about every episode of Futurama and all that. One thing I'm going to say, though, is I probably won't be doing a seasonal review for the other seasons, just because there's a lot of good episodes. I mean, I could do it if you guys are interested in it, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good episodes in the original run and all that, and then the Comedy Central run. There's a lot of good episodes and all that, so I kind of would be going through it saying it's a lot of positive stuff. And a lot of people like seasonal reviews where you talk about bad episodes, but I don't know. Maybe you guys might like people reviewing good stuff, because I don't mind talking about good stuff. I just want to see what you guys like. But for right now, I'm going to be doing a seasonal review on this show, on the revival under Disney and all that. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. You guys know the drill. If you guys want to be notified for future videos, remember to hit the notification bell. Make sure it's on and all that, because sometimes it turns off on people. I'm not sure why, but it does. So make sure you guys are you're notified for future videos and all that. Before I get into it too, I want to also state that I won't be doing a lot of seasonal reviews right now, because I'm trying to work on making my videos better. I'm just doing this because because I'm not sure what's going to happen with this show, because there's a lot of talk Disney may be selling off some of their properties and stuff due to the financial problems and stuff behind the scenes. So I'm not sure, because I don't want to have to go looking for this show, and have to rewatch all the, because I've already watched these episodes a few times. I don't want to have to rewatch them again and all that, if on another platform and all that. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I mean, and to be fair, I'm not paying for the streaming platforms. So my dad is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to him cancel Hulu and all that. So that's why I'm doing this now. But I don't know. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So anywho, let's go ahead and get into this. So we're gonna talk about episode 1. Which is the revival episode and all that, the Impossible Streamer, and all that. So the Impossible Streamer, I accidentally, I guess, covered it up a little bit. Sorry about that. Anywho, this is basically a revival episode of this run of the show. The show has been canceled. I think it's been revived 4 times and all that. So it's kind of funny this keeps coming back and all that. But anywho, so how does this episode compare to the others that have come before it? Is it good? Is it bad? Well, I'm gonna say right now, honestly, this one's, it's not awful, it's not terrible, but honestly, there's really not a lot going on in this episode, in my opinion, especially compared to the revival episodes we got in the past. One example we have, we have, the episode after, the Purple Planet, I forgot the name of that episode, or maybe it's Purple Moon, I can't remember what it was, Purple Planet, Purple Moon, where, Leela and her friends go on strike or something, I don't know, and then, save a dwarf, maybe it was a son, I can't remember, but there's, an episode after that. I don't know if you would count that as a revival, because technically, they released, TV movies and all that, before that. There was also, the Bender Big Score, too. Now, if you want to count that technically is where they revived it a little bit with movies and stuff. But, I don't know, this could be both counted. But my thing is, though, is they've done some of these in the past. I think they were much better. Now, I don't remember where it got canceled the first time, but I do know it got canceled a few times and all that. But I don't know, but this episode's just really weak. I feel like it's very weak and all that. It's basically, the whole point of this episode is, I guess, Fry has a stupid goal or something where he wants to watch every TV show and all that. He wants to watch every, TV show, and all that, but he can't. He wants to make a goal, but there's, one show has, over 1,000 episodes or something like that. Kind of reminds me of Sesame Street. You guys don't know, you probably don't know Sesame Street's still going on. Yeah, it's still going on. For people who don't know, it's still going on. There's over 1,000 episodes of that show, but I just feel like it's kind of stupid. I mean, it's supposed to be cartoony, That's the thing with Futurama, That's what makes the show, so great. But I don't know, it just feels kind of weak compared to what we've seen before and all that, and I don't know, I just feel kind of bored watching it, honestly, in my opinion. It's kind of boring. There is some, there is some cool stuff here and all that, I mean, the Robot Devil makes an appearance again. Yes, we get the Robot Devil. I mean, it's nice to see him again. And not gonna lie, the Robot Devil is, one of my favorite characters in the show. I like the Robot Devil. Apparently they bring back Calculon too, because I guess, my only problem with it feels kind of rushed. He just has a cameo, that's really about it, and then it focuses more on Calculon and all that, and Calculon is actually kind of cool. I like Calculon. He's one, I like his design and all that. He looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, I like Calculon. But I don't know, I just wish that Robot Devil had more to do in there. I mean, it's just a cameo. I mean, he has cameos in other episodes too and all that, he did have other cameos, but I don't know, but yeah, it's basically, speaking of cameos, I will tell you guys real quick, there will be a spoiler in this video for episode 3, I didn't bring this up yet. I meant to bring that up. I should have wrote this down, but I've been going through a lot as well behind the scenes and all that, with, issues with my brother taking stuff and all that, so, but but he's been taking my stuff and all that, but, yeah, it's been stressful, but, I forgot to write this down, but, yeah, there will be spoilers. There hasn't been any spoilers in this video yet, but there will be, because this, the Robot Devil reminded me of that, so there will be, spoilers in this video, it'll be episode 3, so, that'll be reviewing that will have spoilers in it, so you guys know. But otherwise, there won't really be any spoilers except for this season, so, yeah. But anywho, let's go ahead and get back to this, because I forgot to bring that up. But anywho, Calculon he does make it a cameo sometimes, one-off cameos and stuff, but, the Robot Devil, but I don't know, I feel like this is a revival and all that, and we just have a cameo on it. That's the problem, that we're gonna get into a lot of characters in this, side characters in this, this season that don't really, play a lot of roles and all that. I mean, they're just they just have they're one-off characters and all that. I don't know, it just doesn't really make much sense. I don't know, but I mean, it's cool to see him again, but I don't know, if you're just gonna throw him in there as cameos, why not just actually have him play more of a role, But I don't know, but yeah, he brings them back and all. I mean, they bring them back and all that, and I don't know. I mean, it's, but I don't know, basically though, basically, it's there's not really a whole lot to it. There's like one scene where they're like, they kind of go fast and all that. Like I'm happy that everyone's trying to bring Fry back. Cause I didn't mention this, but Fry's like, is endangered because his mind is like stuck in TV reality and all from watching too much TV for months. So they're trying to save him and all. That's why they're doing this whole show, which, by the way, is supposed to be a fourth wall break, for Hulu and all that, because this is on Hulu and all, so they call it Fulu instead. That's actually how the intro is, too. The intro plays exactly the same, except for they have a Fulu thing or something like that. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but, yeah, I don't know why that is, but, yeah. But I'm just happy they don't freaking force freaking Disney jokes and shit like that. I mean, I don't mind there being Disney jokes and all, because they do it all the time, but the way some like Family Guy and The Simpsons and stuff were doing it, it felt very forced and creepy, like they were poking fun of how Disney owns them and all. I'm like, I don't need to know that Disney owns this or that, I don't need to know that, but I thought they don't do that role in this episode, and I really like that. I really do, but I don't know, I still just feel like this episode's really boring and all that, and I don't know, there's not really a whole lot to say at all. And by the way, apparently Fry apparently I guess got out of the machine I think a few days ago or something like that, and because they thought that you burned him alive or something. I don't know. It's just a simple episode and all that. Personally, in my opinion, this is definitely not the best start of this episode and all that. It's not the best start. I also am gonna give this one a bad and 31 points. Yeah, although I said it's not a horrible episode, it's definitely not a good episode in my opinion. I don't feel this episode's really that interesting. I've watched this episode like twice, and I just don't feel much about it going into it. I don't know. Maybe it could deserve a meh. I don't know. Maybe 31 points could be too low for some people, but in my opinion, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot to this, in my opinion. There's just not a lot. It's just like, I mean, it's a cool idea and all that, but it's just basically the whole goal, and it's just Fry trying to watch as much TV as he can and all that, and I just don't feel like there's really a whole lot to it, in my opinion. It's cool to see Calculon back, because Calculon is a cool character and all that, and although we don't see much of the Robot Devil in this episode, we at least see a cameo of him, so that's pretty cool. But overall, I don't know, I'm just not really the biggest fan of this episode. I don't hate it, it's just like, I guess I kind of do, because I think it's boring, but I don't despise it. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't despise it, but I don't think it's that good of an episode in my opinion, and I don't think no one's gonna really get much out of watching it. But anywho, let's go ahead and move on to episode 2, which is like Children of the Leisure Bog, or however you pronounce that. Now this episode, this one is I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this episode is definitely a better start. It's a better start to, and this should have actually been the first episode of the series, not the other one. So if you guys don't know this episode, this is where we finally get to see Amy and Kif's kids. They introduce them, because, I mean, it's been like several years since they introduced them and all that. I didn't mention, but the last episode, they basically start off the episode where it's left off the last time, where time was frozen and all that, and from the last episode that they aired and all that, from season 10 or 7, whatever you want to call it, because some people are saying that the revival season is supposed to be season 8, while some are saying season 11. I'm saying season 11 because, that's what I'm saying, because I didn't know what season people were calling it, and I just I'm just gonna go with season 11, because I already made all these cards and all that, so yeah. But basically though, there was like a time where they made a joke about where they fast forward in time but they didn't age and all that, because I was wondering how they were gonna do that and all that, but I don't know. But it's really nice we get to see Kif and Amy's kids. But yeah, we get that, and apparently this is a fun fact. Well, this could be a fun fact depending on who you're asking, But Billy West does not voice Amy's dad in this episode or at all anymore. I'm not really sure why. I tried looking up it, but I couldn't find any research and all that. It could be because he's an Asian character and all, and they have that stupid thing in Hollywood where you can't they don't want white people voicing black people. They don't want they want their same race. They want Asians voicing Asians and all that. It's stupid. I don't know if that's the case with this one too, or not. I'm not sure. But I know he doesn't voice because you can definitely tell it's not him anymore. Because I think Billy West did he did a Jackie Chan or actually I don't know if it's a Jackie Chan. I don't know. It's he definitely did a pretty good job doing an Asian an Asian slash Chinese voice. Because I think Asian and Chinese sound kind of similar. I think they do. I haven't been around too many Asians and Chinese people, but I think they both kind of sound similar. But whatever, he did a pretty good job. So it's sad he doesn't voice him anymore and all that. I don't know, but I didn't think Amy and Amy and his dad and mom aren't really my favorite characters on this show. I don't hate them. I don't. I just feel like they're kind of like stereotype parents and all that won't accept they won't accept, Amy's boyfriend as Kif and all that. So, I don't know. It's just kind of, like that. I don't know. But I still think they're all right characters. I just, whenever they're on screen, I'm just like, I don't know. Just like, they're all right. But anywho, yeah, But yeah, basically, Amy and Kip have their kids and all that, and apparently they make a joke about Amy and Kip's kids dying and all that. But yeah, make a joke about that, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of that. But yeah, I don't know. I just not really. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of I don't know, making jokes about that. Now I know what you guys are saying. Like that show, they make jokes about that all the time. They even made a joke about that in the last episode. Yes, they did. But my thing is, this is kind of like this is this is like their babies and all that. I think that's taking a joke a little too far, in my opinion, and all that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm just not really the biggest fan of it, in my opinion, and all that. I don't know, but we also get moments too where we see these bear-looking things. Always what this one guy says and all that. But by the way, they're not actually bears. They're actually, this is an interesting fact here. They're actually creatures that have actually lived like several mass extinctions. They're like microscopic size. Apparently, they say they can also survive. They can survive in the in space for a long time, which is pretty interesting. So these are like interesting creatures. These actually put roaches to shame. They put roaches to shame because roaches can survive a lot of deadly stuff too. Except you squishing them. That's the only way they could probably easily die. But unless you have roach traps, but otherwise, like an explosion and stuff, roaches wouldn't get wiped out. So I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of weird. And apparently, when Kip was like shooting them and all that, they ended up in like the wall, so it looked like wall paintings and all that. Like those those caveman wall paintings you find in like caves and stuff sometimes. Like on the movie Ice Age, in that one scene, the first one, that's pretty interesting. But I don't know. It turns out though they're actually not mean. They're just like this one owner's just kind of mean to. I mean, the one guy there's just mean to him and all that. And I don't know. I don't know. I guess Kif ended up. I'm not sure what happened after that because it went off screen because it showed Kif apparently when he was at Amy's. He was with Amy and all that, and the kids and all that. He just it got cut to him shooting. the thing he was standing on down, and they just walked towards him. I'm guessing they killed him. I'm not sure, but I don't know. But overall, in my opinion, this episode is definitely really good. I really do like, I like, Amy's, I like Amy and Kip's kid. Their kids are alright. They're not really the best. This is not really their best in first impression and all that, but I really like seeing them having kids and all that. Amy and Kip are probably one of the best, love couples and all adult animation. And that's not really saying much, though, because a lot of the adult, cartoons have horrible, toxic, relationships, because for some reason they find that funny, but I don't know. Unless you kind of count, classic Family Guy and stuff and all that. Because honestly, that I don't know about The Simpsons, but I know Family Guy, the classic Family Guy and all that, they had, there was, they were different characters, but for the most part, they kind of went to and kind of ruined the characters. I'm glad they at least keep Kip and Amy at least, likable. And even then, they were still one of the best. And they do have their issues, but they, every couple pretty much does. But I do like how they at least, they're likable and all that, and they care for each other. I like how Amy just wants to have, just hang out with her kids and all that, she wants her kids to like her and all that, but I just really like it. So overall, though, this episode is definitely a good, and definitely getting 120 points. Yes, this episode is really, really, really good. I really like this episode. This should have been the first episode of the show. The revival. This should have been. This would have been a much better, impression and all that. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to, revive it with, with a Hulu joke and all that. But I don't know, I just don't feel like that's the best impression. Especially considering, a lot of cartoons these days poke fun at, streaming services and all that. I just don't feel like it was the best impression, in my opinion. Because I know they're on Hulu and all that, at least in America, but some people around the world that don't have Hulu are probably going to be wondering, what is this, But I don't know, but this episode's definitely really good. I really like it. But now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next episode. Alright, this is the next episode here. So this is the episode known as How the West Was. I'm not even gonna read that. That's just a bunch of numbers. So this episode, this one, I'm not gonna lie, this one is freaking boring. This one is freaking boring. The last one was great. The first one was it was boring too, but at least you could get something out of this one. This one's freaking pretty much nothing. Yes, it's pretty much nothing, in my opinion. But, apparently, I guess, Professor Fong's work or something, apparently he's concerned his business will be shut down and all that, and, apparently this robot mafia people are planning on breaking their legs or something, I don't know, they appear 2 times, and all, they appear, at the beginning and then the end. You kind of watch the episode and just forget they're even there, honestly. It's just that boring. Let's just throw the freaking robot mafia in there just because. I don't even think they even give a reason, how they're even able to pull that off. The robot mafia is actually usually pretty good characters. I really like them. I really do. But here, they're just I just don't really care for them. They just don't care for them. They just feel they feel kind of, like they're just there just to, be just to remind people that they were actually characters in, the first, 7 seasons or 10 seasons or whatever you want to call it, But, I don't know, I feel like they just throw them in there just because and all that. And speaking of throwing characters in there, they throw Robotica in there too, or I think his name Robotica. I know Robotica, I don't remember his name. Roboto, or I can't remember his name. Basically, this the insane robot, they throw him in here. And usually, I know some people might have mixed feelings on this guy, which I can kind of see why. His main joke is he's insane and just stabs people. That's his main joke. But, But this is like his main joke and all that. But I kind of like Robota, or whatever his name is. I like him. I think he's actually a pretty interesting character. In this episode, though, I don't really care for him that much. I really don't. And by the way, there's a reason why I told you guys a few episodes that I reviewed back. When I was talking about the first episode, I was giving you guys a warning about this, because this is actually a big spoiler for one episode. But in the episode where Hermes becomes a robot, which I don't remember the name of it, he actually dies. They freaking kill him off. He basically, apparently he gets killed at the beginning of the episode, returns at the end, and takes over on Hermes' body, and then basically he freaking dies. And I'm sure he would be back, but I just wanted to point that out. So I mean, I guess this is one robot that can never die. I guess Calculon is not the only one that gets the robot devil on his nerves or something. I guess Roboto is the same way, I guess. But anyway, they freaking throw him in. He really is not. He doesn't really add much to the episode. He appears a couple of times. I do like his little stabby, nice gun. Like, that's pretty cool and all that. But otherwise, I don't care for him. And by the way, freaking no one, like, none of the Futurama crew freaking are threatened by him. They really aren't threatened by him. In the other episodes, he freaking appeared and they were freaking scared of him. Here, they're like just accepting him. And I don't know. I don't get it. Like why the heck are they freaking, why the heck are they not scared of this guy? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just everyone feels out of character in this. I mean, the episodes here, they all kind of feel a little bit flannerized, but in this episode especially, they just feel out of character. They don't feel like themselves. They really don't. They feel kind of, just, I don't know. Like, Leela, there's, like, this guy that scams, people, and all that, this, like, I think he's, like, a diamond-looking guy. I'm not sure, but he's this, like, diamond guy and all that. He appeared, I think, in, like, one episode, or maybe a couple, I don't remember, but basically, he's a phoning guy, and all. I guess, like, he basically, at one point, goes in there, he basically hides in somewhere and all that while, it's like, I don't remember who was after, I can't remember, because that's how forgettable this episode is, but I remember, like, something was after Leela and Fry. He went in there to hide, and, I don't know, he came back out, basically pretending that he was, I don't know, like, going to get something, like his gun or something. I don't know, it's just like, I mean, I can understand Fry believing that, because Fry is not very smart, but Leela would have never fell for that in the older seasons. Like, I feel like it feels kind of generic and all that, and it's not just the characters and all that, it's also the freaking setting. The whole West thing in general is freaking just boring as hell. I mean, it's just freaking all boring. Like, there's not much about it. There's like, I mean, basically they have like, I mean, I know other cartoons do this stuff too, but other cartoons do this so much better. They do it so much better. I mean, here there's not really much to this. There's not much to this at all, in my opinion. I think you guys would be better off watching like SpongeBob's Western episode from season 5 than this. I mean, that one's actually much better than this. You actually get laughs out of that and all. This one's just freaking boring and all that. I mean, I don't even know why they don't just go to a different planet. I think they're on the same planet. I don't think they ever leave the planet. They're just in a desert and all that, which also takes away out of the charm, because Futurama, one thing that made it so cool was all the cool, like, locations they went and stuff. So, I don't know, there's just nothing really to this episode. And there's also a woman who kidnaps robots and all, uses her head and all that, and apparently she gets away with it at the end. She gets away with it, and, I don't know, she just gets away with it. I don't know, basically kidnapping the robot mafia's heads and all that, and it's just freaking forgettable. I'm gonna go ahead and say this one's a bad and definitely 10 points. Now, I'm giving it 10 points and not lower, because one thing I do like about this episode is Dr. Zoidberg. I think he's really funny in this episode. Like, I like how he, one of the the doctor gets hurt or something, and Dr. Zoidberg pretends he's a doctor. That got a few laughs out of me, but otherwise, this episode's just forgettable. It's not frustrating. It's more forgettable than frustrating. I feel like, you know, I mean, again, like, I feel like, you know, like, if they just done this so much better in other cartoons and stuff, in my opinion, and all that. I just don't find it that interesting. Maybe they could have made it interesting, but I don't know. But you know, I don't know. But I also didn't bring up that Hermes' son is in there too. Yeah, Hermes has his son in there too. Yeah, I forgot about him. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to episode 4. Now, episode 4 is another episode that's honestly kind of interesting in my opinion. This one is actually a bit better than the last one, I'm not gonna lie. One thing I do like about this one is I think unlike the Western one where it's just like boring. They actually go inside Nibbler's litter box. But one thing I do like they do with it is they actually change up the environment a little bit, which I do really like. I think that's really cool. And it just looked, and I'm not gonna lie, the dust part looks really nice too. It's like an orange dust. It's like drugs or something. I don't know. It's really cool. But it's supposed to be like drugs or something. But it really looks pretty cool. I like it. And I like the little mantises, like creatures and all that, or dust bunnies, dust bugs or whatever they are. They look really cool too. I like them. But unfortunately, just like you know, a lot of the episodes so far in this season, and it also feels like it's kind of drags down a little bit, in my opinion. They have to make another joke about Nibbler, you know, but they can't remember they understand Nibbler and all that, and they made this joke like every single time he's freaking talked. They made a freaking joke about it. Like we know he can talk and all that, and I'm just like, I don't know, it's just another joke they make and all that, and I don't know, it's just kind of, you know, again, it's a run out joke they use too many times and all that, and I don't know, but again, it's nothing really, you know, like, again, nothing Home Alone about and all that, like, it's something you're gonna get into too much, but in my opinion, I feel like it's still interesting and all that, but unfortunately, there's also gross out stuff in this episode that drags this one down into the meh territory, in my opinion. Yes, it drags it down to the meh. In my opinion, if there wasn't gross out, because there's a lot of gross out images and stuff in this episode that really definitely pushed this episode down a lot. Like, it is definitely really gross. Sometimes that'll make the freaking Splinter from SpongeBob look pleasant, you know, that's how bad some of these images look. But they're only on screen a little bit and all that, but, I don't know, I just feel like, again, it's kind of, you know, I don't know, it just feels kind of, you know, like, it's another episode. I feel like it's definitely it's one of the more enjoyable ones. It's just, like I said, the gross out humor kind of takes it away and all that. Also, apparently, the worms from, you know, the episode where Fry gets smart and all that, basically return and all that. They return. But, yeah, apparently they have, like, a weird message at the end and all that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I don't know, but there's really not much really to talk about this episode. But like I said, if the gross out humor you know, wasn't there, I probably would definitely give this one a lot higher of a score. But I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably go to the next episode now. Now we're on the next one here. Now we're on episode 5. Related to items you viewed. So this episode is the return of an iconic character known as Mom. I don't know, in my opinion, I mean, I know a lot of people like Mom. I don't know, in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, Mom's probably not one of my favorite characters. I don't know, I mean, I mean, I know some people might, like her and all that, which is fine. You guys can like her, but I'm gonna flat out say I do not like her. I don't hate her either. I mean, there are some good episodes that she's in and all that, but I just feel like, I don't feel like she's really the best in my opinion. The jokes that she has are like they have. She's evil. She's a dictator, and apparently she likes to slap people. That's really about the main jokes they have with her and all that. I don't like how she gets away with all this stuff at the end, because you're kind of wanting to root for a villain to lose at the end and all that, but she gets away with, not every episode she gets away with stuff, but most of the episodes she gets away with this stuff and all that, and I don't like it too much. But I don't know, but apparently in this episode, this is like an Amazon thing and all that, so kind of like the first episode, it's kind of based off of, stuff that's kind of going on right now and all that with Amazon and stuff, and, there's not really much to say about this episode, I'm gonna say my opinion. Oops. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go ahead and just say, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, yeah, this one's definitely getting a meh and 48 points in my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna flat out just go ahead and say this because honestly, yeah, not only because I accidentally showed it, which I need to start working on editing my videos so I don't have to go run into that problem, but I want to go ahead and just say it because there's not really much to this episode. In my opinion, the reason why it's getting a meh is because it's kind of this typical, robots taking over the world and all that, trope we've seen so many times before and all that, we've seen it so many times before, in my opinion, and so many better, shows as well. I'm not saying Futurama can't do this stuff, but they just don't do a whole lot with it, in my opinion. Like, Mom basically is gonna shut off, she's gonna shut off, the Amazon bot or whatever, the mom bot or whatever it is called, and basically she doesn't do it because it'll make her a bunch of money and all that, and it's just like, you kind of know that she's gonna not do it and all that, and it's just kind of predictable and all that, and I don't know, and I mean, there are some stuff I do like about this episode. I do like how she uses a slap. I do think the slapping gag definitely gets old and all that. It definitely gets old, but in this case, it's actually kind of funny. She uses a freaking slap as a security thing. That's pretty funny. Also, apparently, there's also when Leela and Fry are looking up, looking up stuff and all that. There's like a Zap Ranakin, there's a Zap Ranakin lamp, which is pretty cool and all that. But there's also some stuff I don't know. There's another thing I don't like. It's like Bender gets brainwashed and all that. But then he's like, in the next scene, he's like, next scene and all that, he's like fine and all that. Like, I just don't really get why. I don't know why they even brainwash him at all. Why not, just kidnap him or something? I don't know. Like, it seems kind of funny, and I mean, it seems kind of weird and all that, but I don't know. But the reason why it's getting a meh, though, in my opinion, is I really do like how they're building up Leela and Fry's relationship more. I mean, they started building it up in the Comedy Central area because they did hint at they might have feelings for each other before that in the Fox era, but then they kind of started pushing it more and all. And now they're actually officially a couple. They're officially a couple and all that who now live together and all that, which is pretty cool and all that. We've seen them in bed together before, but this is actually the first episode where they actually, actually moved in together, which is pretty nice. I like that, but otherwise, once again, there's not really a whole lot to this episode. There's not really a lot to go back to either, and it's not really that funny either, and I'm not saying, again, the episodes always need to be funny, but I feel like this series hasn't been really the funniest. Let's hope the next episode will make us, feel, something. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this episode. Now, this one is a Christmas episode. And I know that Christmas is technically, a little ways away. But I mean, yeah, yeah, basically though, it's like you know, a little ways away, but heck with it, you know. I mean, I'm reviewing every episode of this season. I might as well talk about this episode too. And I gotta say, this episode is definitely much better than the other ones I reviewed so far. This one's definitely much better. I really like this episode. I really do. I like how, like, it starts off with, like, everyone fed up with, like, you know, Robot Santa and all that, you know, coming in and, killing people and all that, So, basically, they want to have a normal Christmas, so they basically, Professor Farnsworth goes back in time and all that, because they can't, you know, sneak up on him in the present day, because of, certain, you know, things and all that. So, basically, he goes back in time and all that, resets, Santa and all that, and goes back into he accidentally, there's also a retreating joke, which I kind of like. It still makes it kind of confusing, but, like, Professor Farnsworth accidentally sets the time, instead of, you know, he basically makes the backwards time machine. Instead of it going forward, now it goes backwards, so, I guess it goes backwards now, also. I guess they did end up in another situation where they went, like, three universes in the future, or something like that, but it ends up going backwards and all that, and I don't know, just, it is kind of a cool joke to see again and all that, but it's kind of confusing. So that means, you know, the professor is now, and, like, I guess in a different timeline now, I guess, although we don't see the other professor, so I don't know, maybe he ended up going back into the right time. I don't know, it's confusing. This show has got some confusing stuff when it comes to time stuff, but I don't know, but yeah, because that one episode where they had the time machine that goes forward, which is the same time machine they use to go backwards, well, you know, that, it's basically that time machine, and they end up, like, crushing, the professor ends up crushing the, other, versions of himself and Fry and Bender, so, I don't know, it's kind of interesting, but, I don't know, but, I just don't want to explain that, because again, it's hard to explain, but, I kind of really like, one thing I do really like about this episode, though, is seeing everyone having, you know, quality time with their kids and all that, and we see Fry, you know, and Leela and all them having fun. We see Kif and, you know, and Amy having fun with their kids and all that, which is pretty cool and all that. I really do like that. It's really nice to see and all that, and then we have and then we also have, you know, like, we have a lot of that stuff and all that, which is pretty interesting, and I really like that. Like, I do. I like how we get to see. I mean, it kind of brings me back to when I was little and all that, and we go to people's houses and stuff for Christmas. It was pretty nice. Or I guess in this case they would call it Xmas, but I mean, Xmas, I think, is a real holiday in real life. I think it's for Jewish people or something. I could be wrong. I don't know. I can't remember what religion it is, but there's like Christmas and there's Xmas. I don't know which one is which, but I think they're both very similar, I believe. I'm not sure. If someone wants to let me know in the comments, they can, but I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and say my favorite part of this episode. This is probably the most funniest part of the episode, in my opinion. Basically, Dr. Zoidberg and Bender are basically going, like, they're fed up with being by themselves, because basically, since Robot Santa is good now, basically, because you know, thanks to the professor, they want to go back in time and kidnap him and all that, and it's pretty funny. Like, apparently I like how Robot Santa says like, he says cookie a lot, like the way he says it. I don't know why, it's just adorable. I know it's coming from a freaking Santa Claus robot that freaking literally goes in your invades houses and freaking kills people, and or either that or freaking blasts, you know, people trying to kill them, but you know. But I don't know, I still find it kind of adorable and all that. But I don't know the way he just says. He says cookie, cookie. It's pretty funny. But basically, what happens? They take him back, and then they freaking accidentally kill him and all that. And apparently they I don't know, it's pretty funny and all that. It's like funny the way they're trying to hide the body. I got a few chuckles out of that. That was pretty funny. I just find really, really funny and all that. So overall, this episode is definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely really good and all that. So this episode, yeah, I gotta say, this is definitely one of the better episodes in my opinion in this season. This actually may be the best episode I've reviewed so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one. This one definitely deserves a good and definitely 120 points. What can I say? It's a Christmas miracle. It really is. It makes me feel jolly and happy just watching it. But this episode is definitely really good. Like, this is definitely a really good episode. Like I said, it's probably the best one I've reviewed so far. It's that good. I think both the A plot and the B plot of the episode are actually really good. I think they're both really good. And all that, and apparently Robot Santa, he does try to kill him a few times and all that, but I don't know. I'm hoping it's not a new trend where they don't have him kill anybody much anymore. I don't know, because technically he's not good at the end because apparently Professor Farnsworth, I guess is a reason, like. It's a time thing, so it's hard to explain. But he goes back in time to change him and make him good. Make him good, but he ends up making him bad. It's really confusing, but I don't know. I just find it really funny and all that. And again, I hope they don't change the trend and all that because it's too violent. Because I know they do that sometimes. They freaking change crap in these shows and stuff because it's freaking too violent or something. That's why a lot of scenes on Family Guy and stuff are freaking banned or something. Got to go on DVD to watch it and stuff because they banned it because it's too it's too violent or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely a really good episode. I really do like it. I like seeing Dr. Zoidberg and Bender bonding. It's really good. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on because I don't have anything else to say. Now we're gonna talk about another episode, which was an episode basically based off of something we've gone through recently, which I'm glad we're not going through it much anymore, which is COVID. But this one is known as Rage Against the Vaccine. So this is basically supposed to be an episode of I guess. It's supposed to be an episode, about the vaccine and stuff and all that, and, I don't know. I gotta say right now, this is definitely a very, very forgettable episode in my opinion. Honestly, this one may be unpleasant too at times. There's like some scenes where apparently, I guess Leela comes back, from her parents and stuff, because I guess the mutants are getting sick or something, and they come back, and Leela, after hanging out with her parents, gets sick and all that, and, I don't know, it's just kind of, so instead of, like, Fry, in the one episode, Fry was the one to cause the sickness, this time it's freaking Leela and all that, it's Leela and all that, and, at least in the Fry episode, although I feel bad for Fry in that episode, because the way people are treating him like it's his fault, even though he didn't know he was gonna get a cold and all that. Leela kind of knew she had the sickness and all that, and was kind of hiding it and all that, and spreading it, so. It's basically kind of a rip-off of that one episode, only it's done a lot worse, in my opinion. It's done a lot worse. Once again, though, I don't think it's a frustrating episode. I think the one part I don't like mainly is the part where they stick the stuff up their nose and all that, like, COVID done with a vaccine. I know some people do not like that. I didn't experience that. I've had it stuck up my nose before, but I wasn't part of that where I had to get stuck way up my nose and all that. So some people might find that really unpleasant, but I don't know. I mean, it's just not really, like I said, it's not really pleasant and all that, in my opinion. And I just don't think there's really a lot to this episode either. They bring back Worm Serum, but they really don't do much with him either, in my opinion. They don't do much with him. Once again, I feel like they throw him in there just because, you know, they want to you know, bring back a character, you know, to please people. But again, you bring back a character, but it doesn't mean you're always gonna please them, you know. You gotta do more to just freaking bring back a character. You gotta have them actually do something than just like be like, oh look, there's a character here. I mean, some fans of the show might like that, but fans like me who are fans of the show, like the earlier seasons, wanna see, you know, the characters actually do something funny or cool and all that. I will admit, at least he has more to do than the freaking Robot Devil, who had like one scene and that's it. But and that goes for the Robot Mafia too. But I just don't feel like there's really much about it. My favorite part of the episode, though, has gotta be probably Hermes. Like Hermes going to there's like Hermes is basically going to going to look for voodoo magic and all that, and I kind of like how he's hanging out on a bus. I was expecting him to get sick too, but he didn't get sick at all. He's just doing his own business and all that, and all that. He just it's kind of funny and all that. And I like how he comes across like a skeleton. It's like a robot skeleton, it's basically robots, but he looks like a skeleton. It's pretty cool and all that. The guy only has, I think, a couple lines, but it's still pretty cool and all that. And they also bring back, I think his name's Rovoto or whatever his name is. He's basically, his wife's, ex-husband, or I don't know, or whatever. I can't, no, I think it's not Rovoto. It's, Revito Spin, or I can't remember his name. But I don't know, he also has a few lines and all that. I don't know, it's just, once again, like I said, his wife is a bitch and all that, and freaking flirts with him and all that. And all that. So I don't know. But I still find it kind of interesting and all that. But the rest of the episode is just freaking boring and all that. Honestly, if you want to have a better experience with this, I would check out the South Park ones. They're so much more entertaining, in my opinion. They actually do something interesting with them and all that, and I like it. And I just like them a lot better. I mean, there might be some jokes in there some people might not appreciate, but you're gonna get a lot more out of those than you are with these and all that. But I don't know. I feel like they also ripped off an older episode. I'm going to go ahead and say this episode is definitely a bad and 14 points, in my opinion. Yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot out of this episode. You're not. You'd be better off just skipping it, in my opinion. Especially since there's already an episode like this. I mean, it is cool to see Hermes in his journey and all that, but I especially don't think people are going to like it who had to get the tested when COVID first came, around, and you had to stick the thing up with your nose really far up. I think that's gonna make some people claustrophobic, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next episode, which is episode 8. Zap gets canceled. So we get an episode dedicated to Zap Rannikin. I mean, Zap. I think Zap's kind of funny, in my opinion. I kind of like Zap. I know he's a jerk and all that, but I kind of like him. He's kind of funny and all. He's a jerk in a funny way, in my opinion. But apparently he finally screws up and all that. I guess he gets freaking canceled, and he gets basically fired and all that. And Leela ends up taking control, and Leela takes control and all that. And I gotta say, this episode is very, very unpredictable, in my opinion. It's very predictable. It really is predictable. You know exactly, where this episode's gonna go. Zap's gonna go, he's gonna go to a school or something, and he's gonna get, he's basically gonna get, treated the way he's been treating other people. He's gotta learn a lesson and all that. Leela's gonna lose her job, he's gonna come back and all that. You know, it's so predictable. Like, it's so freaking predictable. Heck, there's even a freaking villain there. Like, I knew he was a freaking villain. I knew he was. I don't know how I knew it, but I know they're gonna do something stupid. They're gonna make the teacher here a villain, and it's actually one of the students who is pretending to be a villain. He is kind of cool, though. I kind of like him. He's all short and stuff, and acts all nice and stuff, but then when he gets tall, he has a different voice and stuff. I do kind of like that, but I just don't feel like there's much to it, honestly. And on the mean side, we got Leela, I guess, is supposed to sign a peace treaty or whatever with these, like, balloon-looking things. I don't even know what the hell these things are supposed to be. Like, what are these things supposed to be? I don't even know. I know Futurama's got a lot of weird, aliens and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just seems kind of weird and all that, but they are kind of nice. I do like their design, but I still don't know what the hell they're supposed to be. Apparently, they're supposed to get some of the air and all that. I don't know. Leela doesn't want to do it. She feels like it's wrong and all that. Like I said, it's very slow and predictable in my opinion. You know what's going to happen and all that. There's not really much to say here. But I'm going to go ahead and probably just say this episode, in my opinion, definitely gives a net a 46 points. I know I'm kind of speeding through this part here, but there really isn't a lot to say here. Trust me, if you guys watch the episode, you guys will agree there is not a lot to freaking say here. It's all, like I said, it's just so predictable and all that. And like I said, there's not a lot to it, in my opinion. But the reason why I'm giving it a meh and not bad is I do kind of like the parts with, like, Zach Ramican and all. Even though you know the guy is a villain and all that, it's still kind of cool. It's cool to see Zap, despite him being one of the funnier characters in the show, getting what he deserves and all that, Despite probably the next episode where he does learn his lesson at the end, but probably the next episode I'll probably go right back to, he'll go right back to, being a selfish, jerk and all that, but I don't know. But let's go ahead and move on to episode 9, which is the prince and the product. Now this episode, my God, this episode. If you think the episode, the West episode was freaking boring, this one is probably really frustrating. This one's probably gonna frustrate a lot of people and all that who watch it. This one's even frustrating for me. So if you guys don't know this episode, this episode is known for making Leela an unlikable bitch, is what it does. It makes Leela an unlikable bitch, and all that. Basically, she's just flirting with this guy and all that, and Fry's upset and all that, and I'll get to why she's an unlikable bitch in a second, because there's going to be more to it, but I want to get to the main part, which is very stupid, by the way. This is supposed to be apparently an episode dedicated to like 3-parters and all that, trilogy and all that. Futurama's done this, The Simpsons has done it with the Treehouse of Horror, Family Guy's done this with TV parodies. They've all kind of done this. But this one is probably one of the worst, in my opinion, one of the most dullest parts of the entire. I mean, Futurama's done some dull ones on the past, but this one's probably the worst, in my opinion. This one's the worst. This is someone, too, that's gone through every episode and watched it multiple times, and the first few seasons of the show and all that, before, it got revived by, Disney and all that, But yeah, this is definitely one of the most dullest parts of the episode. It's so boring. It really is. The first episode, I guess, it's about them. Apparently, they're like toys or something and all that, and they're toys, and I guess Fry is dying or something, and then or maybe it's Bender. I can't remember. I think it's Fry is dying, and then Bender dies or something, and then it turns into an airplane. It's like evolvement or something. Like you're questioning what happens if you die or something. I guess it gets frozen or something. It's very stupid and all that. And then we get another episode which is a freaking Cars knockoff. Guys, if you guys don't know, Cars is probably like one of the least known stuff like this is supposed to be like a Cars parody. I think from the movie Cars and all that. Pixar's Cars. They made like 3 movies and all that. All pretty much are not well received by fans. By the way, I thought the first one was probably the worst in my opinion. I don't know, like the second one was not like really good. The third one was it was good in my opinion, but not great. But I can agree with fans that they're very forgettable and all that. But they decided to make a freaking parody about that. Apparently, the last one was about, I guess, evolution. This one's about there being a murder. Someone's murdering cars and all that. I guess it's Zoidberg. Zoidberg is freaking murdering the cars and all that, and basically is forcing people together and all that. And again, it goes freaking. It's basically just a simple episode and all that with this, and I just don't really care for it. I really don't like. Once you know who it is, there's not really much to go back to either. You could argue maybe the designs are kind of cool and all that, but I don't know, they're just not cool. They're basically the freaking main characters just as cars. If you want to freaking see this, go to freaking Devaney Art or whatever. You could probably find pictures of this all over the freaking internet and all that for this crap. And the last one is probably, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably my favorite one, but also not very good either. It's about, the Futurama people as, like, ducks and eggs and all that. Apparently, they're in the ocean and all that. They come across this land with eggs, and they go to war and all that, and then, they go to war, and then I guess, they all die, and Leela and Fry I think they have a baby. I'm not sure. They have 2 babies. Fry's cracks into an egg, and then his inside cracks, and then an egg comes out. Leela's cracks and a freaking duck comes out. It's very confusing and all that, and I don't know. And basically, pretty much all this shit here is basically advertised and all that. Like it's just really forced. It's freaking forced. Like it feels forced and all that. Like I don't know, just because it cuts back and forth from like freaking Fry and Leela and all that. And it's just freaking like Fry trying to prove that he's tough and all that. I don't know, and can beat this one guy and all that. I don't know, it's just very forced and all that. And I just don't care for this episode. This is probably one of the worst episodes, probably even in the entire show. Like I probably better watch the freaking Tentacle episode, which is I think it's called The Beast of a Thousand Eyes over this freaking garbage. I don't remember how bad that episode is, but I remember it wasn't even. I don't remember it even being close as bad as this one. This one you won't get anything really out of it. At least that one you'll get something out of it. But I don't know. It's just freaking boring. It's freaking so boring and all that. And by the way, apparently at the end, it reveals that I guess this is all. It's all a universe parody or whatever. I don't know. It's just so confusing. The ending's confusing. Apparently, Lilo is she thought she was under a spell or something, but she wasn't. I don't know. It's just so freaking confusing. It still doesn't excuse her, like, them making her unlikable and all that. And again, I know it's brainwashing and all that, but I don't know. It's just so confusing. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this one's a bad and definitely a 3. Definitely one of the worst episodes in the entire show in general. Definitely one of the worst. Maybe the worst. I don't know. It's freaking pretty bad. It's pretty bad, and this show doesn't have a whole lot of terrible episodes, but this one's definitely really bad. This one's not just boring, it's freaking frustrating too. Like ending and all, it's freaking garbage. But let's go ahead and talk about the last episode, in my opinion. I'm so glad I'm almost done with this. I'm so sick of this. I so am. But anywho, we're gonna talk about the last episode here, which is the last episode here is But yeah, But basically the last episode here is all the way down. Yeah, basically though, sorry, I was trying to read something there, but anyway, basically this episode here is, but basically though, this episode here is, it's basically, the last episode in this entire show. I'm surprised they didn't, the season, I'm surprised they didn't actually do an 11th episode, in my opinion. I'm surprised they didn't, but I guess they didn't do that, but, I don't know, but, yeah, I don't know, it's just kinda, again, it's just kinda, like, it's another one of those episodes where they've done this before too, by the way, they've done this before where they had the characters, like, they kind of show this, like, cool reality and all that, where they show the characters and all that, in different situations and all. They've done this, like, in a universe before. They've done this with, like, the what if machine and all that. It's pretty cool and all that. The what if machine was more like the last episode, but my point is they've done this kind of stuff before. But honestly, this episode is definitely probably, there's not really a lot to this episode either. Yeah, yet we have another episode like this. Apparently, it starts off where Professor Farnsworth is, I guess they're questioning, reality and all that, like, if they're actually reality or not, and, I guess it shows Professor Farnsworth showing him a hologram and all that. And apparently, which is it's kind of cool here. They reveal like what happened in the first like few episodes of this season and all that, which was a revival and all that, which is pretty cool. But it reveals that, and then like I guess it, and basically apparently they start questioning like if they even exist and all that, which makes Dr. Zoidberg's head hurt and all that. It makes my head hurt too, Zoidberg. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It makes my freaking head hurt too. I never thought I would agree with Dr. Zoidberg, but I do agree with him. But yeah, apparently too and all that kind of that kind of, was a thing and all. I don't, it's just kind of, like I said, it's just kind of, it's kind of, the thing and all that with, it's just kind of, a whole, like, parody and all that with, with them being, like, holograms or something. I don't know, they start off with, like, blocks and then they evolve. I don't know, it's another episode that, again, it's kind of, again, it's kind of forgettable in my opinion, too, like, there really isn't much in this episode either you're gonna get into. But I don't know, I'm just, but yeah, so they're not gonna get much into this episode too. They're really, like I said, there's not a lot to talk about here. It's just like, I guess, a parody and all. I mean, not a parody. It's like more so, I don't know. It's like characters breaking the fourth wall. Bender once again is questioning, him and all that being a robot and stuff. I don't know. It's just stuff we've seen already before and all that, and much better episodes. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a score. This one's getting a bad and 5 points too. Yeah, this one's getting a bad and 5 points. Yeah, once again, another boring episode, and, yeah, they're not gonna get a lot out of this one either. This one's not probably as boring, in my opinion, as the Wild West episode, or whatever the heck that was, where they're in, the Wild West, but it's still not very interesting, in my opinion, and all that, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably say, so I'm gonna say, it's kind of sad that we're ending, this off with, a bad episode, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably just go ahead and give this a score. I know I've kind of rushed through this episode, but again, there's not a lot to say about that. So, anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I officially have reviewed every episode, like all 10 episodes of this season. Now I'm going to go ahead and probably give it a score, and I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on it, on this whole season in general. So this season is definitely getting a meh and 48 points, in my opinion. Yes, I think this definitely deserves a meh. I know I kind of rushed that last episode. I actually rushed a few of them and all that. But personally, in my opinion, some of these episodes there's just not a whole lot to talk about. There really isn't. And the episodes that are like, I mean, there's 2 really good episodes in the season that push the numbers up. But a lot of them are like meh, like they're rated meh, or they're rated meh with like really low scores. Or, like, a lot of them are, like, rated bad, but they're, like, really, really low scores as well. So, yeah, this season, in my opinion, is just very forgettable. It's very forgettable. It really is. And like I said, I was trying not to rush through some of the stuff, but it kind of made me rushed a little bit because, like I said, I just didn't have a lot to say about these episodes. That's why it's kind of nice doing it like this sometimes, but because then I have more to say. But, I don't know, I mean, that's why when I do reviews, I also make sure I actually have things to say about it before I review them. But I'm doing, like, solo reviews. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I said, this is just this season alone just felt very forgettable. I mean, they've had some bad and forgettable episodes in the past. But honestly, they weren't. I don't feel like they. I feel like some of the bad episodes are really bad in this season. Like, some of them are really forgettable. Like, I mean, even some of the forgettable episodes in the older seasons, we should get something out of them. This season, you really can't. But this is probably where I should probably answer the question about reviving this series. Was it a good idea to revive it? In my opinion, well, I don't know. I feel like maybe not. I mean, even though we got, like, 2 really good episodes, some of these episodes were, like, Christmas episode, and then we got, then we get the, episode where Amy and Kif have, their kids and all that, and, which is really good. I really like that. We get to see their kids all grown up. It's really nice, but otherwise, a lot of this stuff is recycled, or it's done better in other shows and all that. I just don't feel like they just don't have a whole lot with it. I was hoping by the Christmas episode, maybe they would start, kind of going back, and getting better at this stuff. But I don't know. I just don't feel like this show probably needed to be revived, in my opinion. I feel like it. Even like I said, we got 2 good episodes, in my opinion. I feel like it's just, I don't know, I just don't feel like it needed to be revived. Now, I will say this, I'm going to say this right now, this season right here is much better to get through than season 21 of Family Guy. I'll say that. I know some people like that, like season 21 of Family Guy. That's fine, that's their opinion. But for me, I felt, although there was some good episodes in that season, I felt like they were a lot more boring and all that. At least here you can get some humor out of most of the episodes that are even forgettable and all that. But I mean, even like they even have like a Wild West they had like a Wild West episode 2 in that season, where we see Mayor West and all that with his dad and all, which was freaking boring and all that. Here, at least, I mean, in that West episode, at least I could get some funny stuff out of it and all that. But I still feel like, I feel like, again, just like Family Guy, I feel like this show didn't need to be revived. I think it needed to probably just stay canceled, but I am at least grateful we at least got, 2 really good episodes out of this series. And if I were you guys, I probably would go out. I mean, despite you paying like $90 for like this Futurama set, because at least that's what I saw, it was like $90. I saw you could get like the first like 8 or 10 seasons or whatever it is, at Walmart. You can get like 10 seasons and all that. I still think it's worth it, because personally, in my opinion, even though that's a lot of money, with streaming going up and all that, and I'm not even sure what's gonna happen with Disney and Fox and all that, because like I said, they're like I said, there's stuff going on behind the scenes and all that, and I'm not sure like what's happening to Hulu and all that. if they're gonna sell Hulu off. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, so that's why I'm kind of doing this now, because I don't want to wait. Because I waited too long before with things like this, and I didn't want to do the same thing. But I am grateful there are no freaking Disney jokes where they're poking fun at Disney owning them. I'm glad they don't have that. I don't mind them having jokes about Disney and all that, like being kid friendly and all that, but I don't need jokes about them poking fun at them, and I'm glad they don't have this, because that was one thing I was going to worry about. Are they going to make it too kid-friendly or something? But I'm glad they don't have that. But I don't know, I'm just, like I said, not really the biggest fan of this. Like, I'm not really the biggest fan of them reviving all these shows and all. They don't need to be revived, but I don't know. But I guess you guys can tell me your guys' thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, one more thing, two more things before I go. One thing I forgot to mention is about the Hans Bot, or whatever his name was. I don't remember his name, but sadly though he passed away. The guy who voiced him passed away and all that. I think he passed away a couple months ago, which is really sad. So he probably got to. I mean, I think it was either I think it was a couple months ago that he passed away and all that. So at least we got one. They at least they made a farewell for him and all that. Despite we'll probably never see him again because the voice actor passed away. But at least they let him off on a good episode and all that. But yeah, he appeared at the end of the Christmas episode, which is really nice. But another thing I want to point out, the last thing I want to point out, which is I thought was really interesting. It basically at the end they had a copyright thing at the end, and they say it says 20th Century Fox, not studios. I wonder if that was an error they made or something. I'm not sure. It might have been an error, but it's supposed to be 20th Century Studios because, Disney changed it to 20th Century Studios. I guess they messed that up or something, I don't know, but I guess it's kind of nice to see the 20th Century Fox logo again, I guess, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird they missed that or not, but I don't know, but why don't you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think about all this and the revival and all that. Do you guys think it's good? Do you guys think it's not? You guys can have your own opinion in the comments. I don't really care. As long as you guys are respectful and all that. And I'm going to go ahead and let things go from here because I've been recording for a long time now. Anywho, love you all. Bye-bye. And R.I.P. to the Hans Bot or whatever your name was. I'm sorry I don't remember your name. But I will miss you. You were a great character. Bye-bye.